Welcome, gamers from around the globe. You've dropped into the best place for Game Pass news. That's right, it's the Game Pass Tracker Show. This is episode 124, recorded live Thursday, October 19th. I'm Nick Metzger, here with the best dang co-host a guy could ever have. That's right, Mr. Sean Abbott. We are about to fill your brain with all this week's bits and bobs of Xbox. Like, shut the front door, ABK deal is done, baby. Signed, sealed, delivered, and we're going to talk all about it this episode, so you better sit down, you better buckle up, because Game Pass Tracker Show is one crazy ride. What's up, Sean?
What is up, Nick? What is up, everybody? Welcome to today's show. We just want to thank you all for being here. Your favorite Xbox Game Pass podcast, the Game Pass Tracker Show. You can find us on pretty much every social networking site. Go in, just search for @Game Pass Tracker. And if you have any thoughts, any questions, don't hesitate to shoot us an email like Bruce did this week. show@gamepasstracker.com. That is show@gamepasstracker.com. And if you like what you're hearing, we'd love for you to leave us a review on your go-to podcast and app of choice. It really helps us grow. But we also want to mention something else that's new this week. We wouldn't be a Game Pass show without promoting the big daddy itself, Xbox Game Pass. So if you love Game Pass, you love our show, and you want to support, head to the link in the description and sign up to Game Pass within the next 24 hours from the Xbox.com website. You'll not only be supporting us, the Game Pass Tracker Show and family, you will also be signing up to the best gaming subscription going, Xbox Game Pass. So without further ado, Nick, let's head into the Game Pass headlines.
Sean Abbott, we got games. We got Game Pass drop. It's fantastic. We have all kinds of stuff to talk about today. It's going to be an awesome show. We thank everybody for being here. So out last week, we started with the big one itself, Forza Motorsport, which we won't spend much time with because everybody knows what it is. And you're gonna break it all down for us here later on in the podcast, I know. And then next, October 12th, last week, if you're looking for a fun... Hey, listen, if you were like, Redfall's too scary, you're looking at me. I know, that's me. Well, From Space, my friends, is like a kiddo's version of Redfall, and it is fun, and it is fantastic, and I'm going to talk more about it later in this episode, too. That dropped October 12th. And then out this week, we had Like a Dragon Ishin, which I will just say, take up the sword as Sakamoto Ryuma and venture to Kyoto to find your father's killer, clear yourself of a framed murder, and restore your honor. And then after that, sir, out today, we had F1 Manager 23. You know anything about that one?
I don't know a great deal about it. I did download it to get it played because I absolutely love if you're an F1 fan like me, and you've been watching F1's Drive to Survive on Netflix, you get a nice behind the scenes of like Toto Wolff, Christian Horner, Gunther Steiner. These are the guys that are on the box art. You get a behind the scenes look at how these guys operate, and it's absolutely hilarious. Like, I am not kidding. Gunther Steiner is one of the the public person in my eyes to watch on that show. So I was like, I could go in, I could be my very own Gunther Steiner. I could be like, hey, look, Gene, these fucking guys, they're doing this. So I could go and do that myself and play the game. I haven't downloaded, I haven't got to it yet because I just got too tied up in Forza Motorsport. So.
Well, yeah, and that's a great point, Sean. I mean, it's a tough deal for you guys who love the motorsports things. You got this, you got Forza. It's like, what are you doing? Where are you going? So, are you driving, or are you more like, it says manager? Is there driving in this, or are you just doing statty things like tweak the wheels?
You're just doing the stats. So if you like Football Manager, anybody that likes Football Manager and has played Football Manager, this is the Football Manager of motorsport. So you are literally controlling and operating a team. So you become the team principal. You make the decisions on who to hire, who to fire. Yeah, it's all that.
All right, all right. Well, that sounds great. That sounds fantastic. I can happy for those of you who have it out there on PC coming out next week, October 24th. As you know, it was pushed for console, but for PC, available day one. City Skylines to raise a city from the ground up and transform it into a thriving metropolis and a long-awaited sequel to the smash hit city building game. This is like the Sim City when I was a kid, okay? And I'm older, so so like that was like the big like city building game, and now it's this. Which it's a pretty fantastic game. I've played City Skylines. I love it.
Yeah, and you might have seen me asking the question of I thought this was pushed till spring 2024, but it's not. That's just console only that's pushed till then. So if you enjoy yourselves a good SimCity style sandbox game, like get into this because the first one apparently was amazing to play. So
yeah, it's real good. And then next, I will say, these games couldn't be more separate, and I will go with the one that's obviously me. And then that same day, you can go with the one that's obviously you. So October 26th, out everywhere. Been waiting for it for a lifetime. Miniko's Night Market. Welcome to Mount Fugu, a cozy Japanese-inspired village with a great mystery to unfold. Join Miniko in her new hometown, where she'll make new friends, collect and craft whimsical items, revitalize the once thriving night market. I'm so excited for this. I can't wait. Now, if you're like, what the hell? I don't care about this stupid crafty game. Well, Sean's got a game for you dropping the same day.
yeah, so they went ahead and they remastered Dead Space, which was already a fantastic game. You played as I think the main character is called Isaac. You play as him. There's not really a lot else I can say about this. If you've played the original, then go and play the remaster because it's just absolutely crazy. I can't wait for this. It is what I'm going to be playing. Well, it's going to be playing what I'm playing the day before we go away on holiday. We go away next week, so I can't take the Xbox with me, even though it's a slight possibility that I might try and do that. But I don't think the wife will be too happy. But I'll try. I'll try and sneak that one by. But yeah, this is definitely something that I'm going to be visiting over the holiday period, the Halloween holiday period, anyway. So I definitely give it a go.
Yeah, man. And for those, if you're like, I don't really know much about it, but it's so this, I do want to say this is only out for Game Pass Ultimate. That is very important. This is an EA Play game. So if you got the core, then you don't got this, unfortunately. Sorry to say. Also, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, if you haven't got the car, I would. If you haven't got the Ultimate, I'd upgrade to the Ultimate because it's worth every penny for games. Just for games like that, this is a huge AAA game from EA, so it's worth every penny getting this.
Yeah.
So use our link.
Use the link. That's right. Also, Frog Detective, also coming out October 26th. My goodness, like there's just so many things coming out next week. Available now on PC, but coming to Game Pass, Xbox consoles. Play as a detective in 3 silly mysteries. Finding clues and questioning suspects is just part of the job for such an experienced frog as you. It's like a kid's version of the Ace Attorney games, is what it sounds like.
Well, I was going to say it's like that, but also isn't it quite apt that there's a Detective Pikachu game coming at some point? So they've now gone, oh, look, we need a cute animal detective game.
That's actually a really good point. Like, forget you, Pikachu. We got a frog. Take that. I absolutely love it.
Frog uses lick.
You know what I thought? I was going to be like, hey, frog you, Pikachu. We got Frog Detective. Coming out October 31st. So now we're a little past next week. We're into the week after next. But Jusant. Jusant, my friends, is available day one, available everywhere. Embark on a climbing adventure in Jusant. Master your climbing tools as you ascend a mysterious, ever-changing tower. Enjoy an atmospheric soundtrack and breathtaking biomes, accompanied by an enigmatic ballast. I don't know what the hell a ballast is, Sean. Do you know what that is? Do you know what they're talking about? I feel like I should know what that is. What's a ballast?
A ballast?
Isn't that like something in a submarine?
Usually something. Yeah, I'm going to say, isn't that like something that keeps you afloat? So
yeah. Did you ever read something and you're like, a ballast? What are you accompanied by? Okay, anyways. Sean, what also comes out October 31st that doesn't accompany you with a ballast?
Headbangers Royale. This is the pigeon head-banging rhythm game that you can play where you're battling PvP style, like all your usual Royale style games, so Warzone, Fortnite, all that kind of stuff. But this is a rhythm style battle. So I'm assuming if you don't keep to the rhythm, the person who's doing it better will probably come first, is all I'm saying. So I'm going to read from directly from the Xbox website for this. Have you ever looked at a pigeon and thought, what is going on in your head? Yes, I do that quite often. Well, think no more. Headbanger puts you and 29 others into the eye of a pigeon while you battle it out on a rhythmic challenges to find out who is the ultimate master headbanger. Compete against each other in mind-bending musical minigames. Screw over your competitors with power-ups and pull and collect crumbs to customize your pigeon in your very own way.
Dude, I have never in my life been excited for a rhythm game, and somehow they did it. Somehow they freaking did it. I'm excited for this damn game. Why? I don't know. It's stupid, but I am. I'm playing it. Day one.
Yeah. I'm going to give this a go. I said it last week. Now I'm going to say it again. This is just bizarre. That's yeah. It's like Fall Guys with pigeons and rhythm mini games. So. Yeah. What is the not to love about that?
Yeah, it's so good. It's great. Also, so that's what's coming out in the future here for you. But we did have a couple of Game Pass games announced. Both of them are on Game Pass. So like Robo Quest is leaving early access. That's currently available, but now it's going to be out of game preview, available for you to play as a first. Is it first person shooter or? Now I'm questioning if it's a first-person shooter. I can't play the thing or else it'll start talking. I think it's a first-person shooter. Awesome art style. Kind of has a comic-y style, art style. It was really fun. I played it for a hot second and had a lot of fun with it. What I'm excited about, being the crafting fanatic and the farming and all that stuff, Coral Island is also coming out of game preview mode. Not only is it coming out of game preview mode, it's currently only in PC Game Pass, but now it's going to be all the places. It's going to be on console. So if you like that, if you're interested in those kind of games, that's available November 14th, whereas RoboQuest is available to you right now, but coming out of early access on November 7th. So there you go.
Yeah, I thought for like I didn't think for a hot second. I can see it. I can see why you're going to be very interested in that. As the lover of all things Animal Crossing and sandbox style crafting games, you're going to be all over that. So, to be fair, I might even try it because looking at the game art for it, it looks very picturesque and pretty chilled. As long as it's not got what gets me with those kind of games is that when it becomes like a huge menu within menu to craft stuff, where like Animal Crossing, when I played that, wasn't a menu within menu. It was pretty easy. It just became pretty tiring and repetitive when you couldn't craft more than one thing. So that's the one thing I wish they'd always added to that. So if they've gone along the lines of Animal Crossing, but you can craft like large amounts of things at once, this would be quite an interesting game to play.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. What's leaving? We got a whole new bevy of games leaving October 31st. Sean, what is it?
So we've got Gunfire Reborn, Kill It With Fire, which, by the way, is a hilarious couch co-op style game where you are basically killing spiders in your house with everything and anything you can get your hands on. We've got Persona 5 Royale. If you were a big fan of the Persona franchise, you definitely need to give this a try before it goes away because it was a big announcement when they came to Game Pass. So there's that. The Signalis and Solasta Crown of the Magister.
That sounds about
right. I
always
get the difficult ones. Yeah,
that's right.
So they're all leaving October 31st. You've got a while to play those games.
Yep.
So get yourself interested and get them played. A lot of those games you could probably finish within the time span as well. Maybe not Persona 5.
I was going to say, or just Persona 5. You can finish all the others or just Persona 5. Those are your choices. Yeah, I was kind of surprised actually to see Persona 5 leaving. I didn't think that would be happening quite yet. So
no, haven't we got another drop of Persona games coming soon? So maybe they're just trying to keep them on on a what do you call that when? Anyway, yeah, that thing.
Yeah, keep you interested, keep you loaded, make you be playing the games. I will say I've played Gunfire Reborn. That was a fun co-op-y shooter. You liked Kill It With Fire. I mean, obviously, Persona 5 Royale is loved. I had a good time in Signalis. So there's a lot. There's some good games leaving, but we got a bevy of awesome games taking their spot. So I think
So
we are a-okay.
ve- very quickly,
Yeah.
Xantetica. Sorry if I'm pronouncing this wrong. I've got several screens in front of me opened up. He's saying you can finish Signalis in under 1 hour on PC using commands. So
Well, there you go.
if you're a speedrunner and want a game to speedrun before it goes, give that a go and hit this guy up. He might be able to give you some hints and tips on how to get those commands down.
Yeah. So, as I always say, if you're interested in any of these, you have till October 31st to beat them or buy them with your 20% Game Pass sub. And if you need a Game Pass sub, we can help you out.
Yep. Remember, if you're looking, yeah, well, like I said, remember that. Check out the link below or the link in the description. And if you listen to this as a podcast, it'll be at the bottom and I believe at the top of the description. So
Sounds good. Sounds good. On to anything else before we go on to the X feed, sir?
No, we've got a couple of games that are on the free to play. We're going to talk about one of those in our feature story, but there is a couple of them out there. Check our Game Pass tracker Twitter page for all that information. They've recently dropped a post about which games are in free to play.
All right, will do. On to the X feed. I'm going to remember to hit the buttons at some point. All right. We have top stories. Xfeed is where we talk about our top stories. We also have news bulletins and our feature story, our big story. You'll never guess what it is. But first, we'd start with top stories. Bethesda's longtime publishing head, Pete Hines, is leaving the company. Was it 24 years he's been there? Is that correct?
After 24 years, he says, after 24 years, I've decided my time at Bethesda Softworks has come to an end. So yeah, 24 years. That's crazy. That's crazy.
I mean, yeah, he's seen. Just imagine. So 24 years, started in 2000. So basically, he almost started like at the genesis of Xbox, kind of. So I mean, it's real close.
Yeah, 2001, 2003 was. Well, sorry, 2001 was the launch of Xbox. So
so just right before. I mean, think of all he's seen, all he's with, like through all those different games. I mean, it's a fantastic career. It seems like is doing. He just wants to have some more time with fam, be able to spend some time for the things he loves, and so a juggernaut in the industry for sure. So it's always good to see somebody go out
and
like this.
And what an absolute way to finish as well. You deliver Starfield.
Yeah.
It's like, there you go, massive, huge game in its genre, and be like, right, okay, I'm done. I'm gonna go stick my feet up, smoke some hoagies, and watch everybody play this game for the next 10 years.
Yeah, man. It's just really cool. You don't see it enough anymore where people just have this awesome career and then they kind of ride off into the sunset in the most awesome of ways. And when it happens, it just needs to be applauded. And I know there is a tweet out from Phil, basically giving him a bunch of props too. So I'm sure he's going to be missed. Like that's the other side of this coin. Like 24, you're losing a studio head with 24 years experience that you kind of now need to figure out how to like fill his shoes, right? Like that's one. I don't want to be the guy that's got to fill his shoes. I mean, but two, I guess the other part of that is they're part of Xbox now, so maybe Xbox can help them find the right person, the right talent to make that happen. So,
yeah, I mean, like you say, he's probably seen so much, and he's worked very hard with games. You've got all the Skyrim, or that lore of games sat there doing its thing. So he's kind of pointed the company in the right direction and the course for this. So it's really interesting to see what happens next. See who fills that, and if they continue to steer Bethesda in the right direction. And I'm assuming with all the coaching that the next person is probably going to have, and you're pretty sure after 24 years of being in a company, no matter how much retiring you do, for a fact you're still popping into the office every now and then, waving at everyone and dropping it. And so, yeah, he will probably still have years and years of wisdom to give to people. So
Yeah, this is his baby. He's not going to be like, "Yeah, see you later, sink or swim. I don't care. I'm out." No, he's going to be like, "Listen, you need something? Give me a holler. Like, we'll chat it." I just from I mean, I don't know the guy personally, but just from his public face, he just seems like a real like he really is all about the people and about the industry and about doing what's right. So, really happy for him. On to our next story. Limited Run CEO claims Walmart maybe dropping physical Xbox games soon. And we kind of have an email going for this, right?
we do. We so as we talked about at the beginning of the show, if you want to email us any questions or anything like that, you can do at show@gamepasstracker.com. And Bruce, who has been a fan of us when we were our previously named podcast, who has come with us into Game Pass Tracker show, has done it. He's the first one to email. So thank you very much, Bruce. He says some French at the beginning, bonjour les amis, which I'm pretty sure comes to hello, gentlemen.
We hope it did. We hope that's
Congratulations
what
on
it means.
yeah, my French is very rusty. I haven't done it since I was 13. So congratulations on your upgrade. I'm really excited for you both. Since Disney's launch of their streaming service, Disney Plus, DVD and Blu-ray sales have deteriorated in Latin America and Australia and have ceased distribution of physical media to those parts of the world. Now, Best Buy has confirmed that they will terminate sales, DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K discs altogether, but video games will not be impacted. Walmart is rumored to follow suit. In my opinion, it's only a matter of time that video games will suffer the same impact. Already, half of the physical disc games are simply a key to unlock it from inside and download it fully, and the other half require a download to play it properly. So what he's saying is, when you buy a game and you open it up, there's not a disc in there anymore. There's just a card with a product key, which you then have to input onto your console and download it to play. Or and this is the one that really sucks because it breaks away from that day one release. Open the disc, put it in, get really excited, play the game, to then be hit with like a 100 to 150 gigabyte download before you play it. So because of that, we can never really own anything anymore. I kind of regret not waiting a little longer and purchasing a Series X and a Series S for the fact that my neighborhood library has its actual library where you go for the books, or the bibliothèque, has loads of video games to borrow from the Nintendo Wii, Wii U, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series X. So he's allowed to get 6 games at a time for a month, and they can reserve games as well, so they can placehold those for themselves. A very long-winded email on this, and it's great because I love getting stuff from Bruce. He is very inquisitive. He's always very good with his facts. So the question for the show, which I don't know if we can answer it now or answer it later, is does your local library have a video game section where you can loan?
Mine does have Switch games, but not any other games. Not like Xbox or PS5 or anything like that.
So I looked into this. I looked into it, like I literally went on the Facebook page for my local library, and they still have the section for discs and Switch games. The library isn't fantastic. The back don't have all the most up to date games because it's a public funded library. So they probably just rely on people donating stuff in that sense. Apart from books, they're pretty good with getting the new up to date stuff. So yeah, I mean that is one way of doing it. If they do cease all physical games and things like that, and people like and have that enjoyment of putting the games in, then go into your local library or something like that. I mean, will we see a rise of like the re-release of Blockbuster, which would be interesting, where you can go and hire your games for a week.
Gamefly's out there. They're still doing their thing. That's going to be the thing that benefits, if anything. And GameStop. I don't know about. You guys don't have GameStop, right? You have, what is it?
No, we don't have GameStop. We just have Game. So UK has just Game, which is the high street version.
Okay.
GameStop's
going to make bank if this actually happens. Like, I mean, yeah, it'll be a really big thing. Do you care? If Walmart comes out tomorrow and says, "Hey, physical media's no more. See you later." Do you care?
Yeah, I care because not so much for Xbox games. well, I mean, I'm glad I didn't get Elden Ring or Hogwarts as digital because I fell out of those games pretty quickly.
Shame.
Um, so like I'm glad I could return the discs or at least take them back and credit myself some cash in store.
Sure.
But I like that. I like that reserving a game in store going. I like normally, especially because the most local games like store to me to buy anything is a good 25-30 minutes drive away. It's like I have a rapport with the people behind the till. Like they know who I am. That I come in, I talk to them. They know I do content creation for stuff like this. So um, you know, I can stand, I can have a chat and bits and pieces like so. I like that. I like the rapport. I mean,
Hmm.
I'm old school when it comes to buying stuff. Like I'm the kind of guy that'll probably annoy most people in a supermarket. So I will stand and I'll have a chat with the cashier, like, how's your day? You doing okay? And like and stuff like that. So that's the kind of person I am. So I'd miss that side of the physical thing because you're going out, you're interacting with real people. Um, and when it comes to the Nintendo Switch, all the Mario games I buy them physical because I like to collect them. Not only that, but my son likes to play them as well. So unless they start doing a family sharing plan for like the downloading of games, like I own a game, he can play it and he can play it on another device at the same time as I'm playing it on a device. As long as they can start doing stuff like that, then that's okay. But like the new Mario Wonder game, that's I'm gonna get that physical because why not? So
Hmm.
I know we're straying away from Xbox a little bit here, but there's that side of it. But then I also with the Nintendo stuff, you not being able to get the physical copy of it, you can't claim the gold points, which is a good service that Nintendo provide. I know Microsoft don't have a reward scheme like that for physical games, but you're going to lose stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. I haven't. Well, on the Switch side of stuff with Noah, I guess I do care, my son. Because there are games like Pokemon and stuff like that that I like to play, and then I hand it to him, and he does whatever he wants with it. So there are certain games I care about, but for the most part, man, I don't care. I'm all digital. Obviously I have an S. I've never bought a physical media for my Xbox, and probably never will. Um, and so I don't really care. I know there needs to be a conversation about how do we save some of this media, which there's a lot of organizations dealing with right now of like how do we make sure we preserve, not save, but preserve some of this for history's sake. And I'm down to try to be there for that, and I totally agree that needs to happen. But on a like, oh my gosh, we need physical discs. Quite frankly, like Bruce hit it on the head. Like when you even if you open up the cartridge, whatever the box, and there's a disc in there, good on you. I would love for somebody to find out if you put the disc in. When's the last time you've been able to put the disc in and there not be any update to the game? Just like old school, you could put the
Um,
disc in and play it, and they didn't want you to update at all. Nothing. Which means
Nothing, yeah.
yeah, that never happens anymore. So you are always going to need to do something. Like if you find these games 30 years down the road and the server no longer exists, then you're gonna put that game in and they're gonna be like, you need an update to play this. So best of luck. You're stuck. So I don't know. Um, I think we're there's a handful of gamers who are fighting this push for digital, and I appreciate where they stand. I certainly don't hold anything against them, and I hope that Xbox and the big three work with them to make them feel heard. But at the same time, I think it's a tidal wave that they are not gonna be able to work against, unfortunately.
Yeah,
So
I mean, it could be an age thing. It could be because, like, well, I'm 37 this year. You're a little bit older than me.
103. No, I'm 41.
Hey, you look good for 103. What's your secret? Um, I bet it's manscaping in the shower. I bet that's the secret.
I'm not going there, Sean. You don't even think you're going to drag me into that one. Keep talking.
um, but it for me, it could be a nostalgia thing. This generation, like this generation of gamers that are all like, or like who are PC gamers, especially PC gamers who have been using Steam for their games and downloading them that way, have probably never had that like rushing home. Like I can remember queuing up. Modern Warfare 1, the first Modern Warfare that came out on the Freaks. I can remember going to a game in York, which is a city near me. I can remember going there for a midnight launch. I was there at 11:30, stood outside the store. Fucking November, so it was freezing. I think I took my girlfriend at the time as well, and she was really impressed about this. But yeah, we were stood there in York outside the store, and like the queue was huge, and then you get everybody in the store just before midnight, and then everyone's like celebrating, yeah, and then they start giving out the copies of the game. It's like you'll miss that, you'll completely lose that, and I loved that, and that so like. As a gamer and I love the gaming community as much as there can be absolute toxic people out there. The majority of people in the gaming community, and I'm going to say this because most people that interact with us on Twitter and Twitch, you guys are golden, and I absolutely we never really see the toxic side of gaming for me anyway. So having that like physical community there in that store at that time was huge. It was awesome. And if you stop doing that physical release, you're going to lose that.
That's fair. I can see that. All right, moving on. Video games make money even though they're on Game Pass, which seems to be often an argument of like, well, if you're on Game Pass, you're not going to make any money because it's not going to happen. Well, guess what? According to Circana, according to that was almost cool. I almost did a good job. According to Circana, they say based on physical and digital purposes, ranked by dollar sales, the top 10 games in the US, number 1 happens to be a pretty big Game Pass drop, Mr. Starfield himself. So guess what? You can drop a game on a free sub and still make a shit ton of money. How do you do it? You offer $35 to get that game 7 days early, and you get schlubs like me that just toss money at that sucker. That's how you do it. And Phil figured it out, and God bless him for doing it because I am all here for it. So there you go. I absolutely freaking love it.
Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see how many people bought the expansion, or not expansion, the early access to things like to Forza Motorsport. Yeah. I wonder how many people did the week early. And they have, like you said, Phil's got it right. They've marketed it so well, like so well. Like let's make this huge game, but let's give everybody an early access to it on the Game Pass subscription, so we still make money off the back of them, as well as making money off people buying the game. And let's make the early access a little bit more expensive because people are going to want to get hold of that really quick. And let's make that more expensive. So let's make more money that way. They have cracked the code with this. Well done, Phil, and well done everybody at Xbox Game Pass for this.
And I'm not even mad at them. They did it in a way where I'm not like, I can't be mad at them. They're giving the game to me for free. If I want to be patient and wait 7 days, I get the game for free. But they have it at a price point to where it's like, it's at that price point of like, well, it's $35, and I mean, I'm getting the game free. I get it with Game Pass. Okay, you don't got to be like telling me. I get it, but to me, it's free because I'm already paying for this thing. So it's like, well, $35 for 7 days early for a game that I'm absolutely like can't wait to play. Sure, why not? I'll do that. Oh, and by the way, I get a few extra little goodies too. That's fantastic. God, I love it. I freaking love it. I'm down for it.
Yeah, and like I said, the price point is perfect. It's what we used to pay for a game. Yeah. And it's like, you've got me there because I want it so bad. And then, like, yeah. So, like, this time around with Forza Motorsport, it dropped. The early access release dropped at a bad time for me. It was when I was working my bad week, which, like, for you new listeners, every 4 weeks I work a 72-hour week. So if a game drops in that week, I'm just not getting to it. It's just impossible unless, like, I don't sleep, which I normally don't do anyway, but I no. So it came about. Otherwise, I'd have dropped for it because that game is freaking awesome. Yeah, I'll talk about it more later. But yeah, they'd have had me there. And I think it was the same with Starfield. Starfield got dropped in early access
Oh yeah.
on bad week, so I
Oh
need to
oh yeah.
swap shifts.
Okay. Yeah, you gotta be like, listen,
So,
you gotta send an email to Phil and be like, listen, Phil, we gotta schedule this better. Okay, come on. No, also, real
but
quick.
yeah,
Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
so like otherwise I'd have done that. And that'd have been 60. That would have been £60 of my actual card cash that I'd have spent this month on. Sorry, this year on games on Xbox, which I haven't done for a very long time. So
Yeah. Yeah, also, I do want to mention Lies of P has sold 1 million copies despite its inclusion on Game Pass. Now, that does include all the platforms. So, sure, there's a lot of PlayStation users that are buying that game that got that number to where it was. I don't have Xbox alone numbers, but they did announce that they did just hit 1 million copies. So, kudos to them, man. You can be on Game
yeah,
Pass and be successful. I don't want to hear any
yeah.
shit about that not being true.
And if you haven't tried Lies of P, you can check out our good friend Hambone Johnny. He's streamed a couple of games of it. It's great. So head over to him. Here you can see what it's like before you try it or before you buy it.
There you go. Our quick news bulletins. Diablo, we'll talk more about this, but Diablo is free to play as of today. Today, 19th through the 22nd, all Xbox players. Let me repeat that. All Xbox players. I don't care if you got a Game Pass sub or you don't. You get to play this game free of charge for the 19th through the 22nd at your own, do it at your own will, because if you get sucked in, it's not their fault. If you end up paying the money on the 23rd, that's on you. So this game is pretty addictive. You might love it so much that you're gonna be paying some cash. There's also a free 10-hour game, a 10-hour gameplay trial as well. So bulletin: Minecraft surpasses 300 million copies. Holy crap, that's hard to
Yeah,
fathom.
that's a lot of copies of a game.
That
Like,
is, man. Kudos on
yeah.
them. Congratulations, guys.
And
Congratulations.
I probably own 4 copies of it. Believe it or not. I bought it on the Xbox before it was one of those that you could play for free. Um, I've got a copy of it on the Switch. I think I own a copy of it for the PC, even though I don't have a PC. I ended up buying it on the PC as well, so that's 3 copies.
There you go.
And I probably own it somewhere else as well.
I own one, only one, on the Switch. And then we also play on the Xbox every once in a while. So those are our news bulletins. Again, congrats to Minecraft. On to our feature story. Holy crap, guys. Like 20 months in, it is done, folks. Is it 20 months? I don't know. I lost track. I did the math once, but then my mind, I don't know. I can't remember anymore. So a long time in, January of 2022 was when this sucker got announced by Phil that they had plans to acquire Activision Blizzard King. And as of last Friday, the deal has gone through. It is done. The CMA says it's done and dusted. We're okay with it. The FTC is apparently good with it. I don't know. There was some crankiness, but it doesn't matter. It all happened. And we got all those games that everybody rumored, like 30 games. No, we didn't, guys. We didn't. I'm sorry to tell you. There's no games.
We got jack shit so far. I mean, the only thing that we've got close to getting from that acquisition is Diablo 4.
Do you think that
And we've
wouldn't
only
have
got
happened
that.
without the acquisition?
Well, the original post about the free plays didn't have Diablo 4. It wasn't there.
Oh, see?
There was only free tiles. And then there was an updated post literally like 2 or 3 hours later of, hey, look, we're going to put Diablo 4 on there as well. So, and we literally had a conversation about this today. I was playing some Forza. Like, I was using the whole Discord stream to a server thing to kind of just hang out with friends and chat. And Nick jumped in and we were chatting about this, and we were like, why haven't we seen any games yet? What games will we see? And like, they should be doing something. That there should be something done about this. And I think you mentioned in that chat that we were having about then them not wanting to kind of concrete anything down because they didn't know if the deal was going to happen. So they didn't make a roadmap internally about how this is going to work. Like, are we going to drop this game on this day? Can we get these games out together? Are we going to remaster these? Are we going to do this? They couldn't do that because they weren't 100% certain that this was going to go through, which is completely understandable. Why waste time, effort, and resource on building a map and getting things ready to go if it's all just going to fall off anyway? So I can understand why they've done it, but then I can't understand why most of those games will probably be able have been on Game Pass or have the ability or you know, it's just sat there waiting, don't need much to get onto a server and fire off into the old Game Pass universe. So I don't understand why we haven't seen anything at all yet. It confuses me. So
There was another thought I had. Now I remember a while back, like I don't know, 5-6 months ago, the CMA released something that they said like, "Hey, listen, not only are we canceling this, but we at this point are putting a stop on any partnerships or collaborations between the two of you until we have this court document." It was something like that. Paraphrased, might not be exact. And so I wonder if in that Phil said, "You know what, guys, we can't be like, sure, no partnerships, no collaborations. We got it. Yep, good." And then like when the minute this deal drops, be like, "This is on Game Pass. This is on Game Pass. This is on Game." Because once you do that, then you're like, "Oh, so you there were partnerships, there was collaborations." I I don't know. Like I'm not a lawyer. I'm a guy in front of a mic podcasting. So, but it makes sense to me if you say you're going to do that. If you say you're not going to do that, and then you throw games on immediately, it pretty much means you collaborate or partnering in some way behind the scenes while this thing was working its way through the litany of legal acquisition stuff. So I don't know, like I said, but I think that might be another reason, maybe why it happened. So Phil's initial comment on Friday when this thing dropped, he had a handful of things to say. One of his longer ones was, I've long admired the work of Activision Blizzard King and the impact they've had on gaming, entertainment, and pop culture. Whether it was late nights spent playing Diablo 4 campaign with friends from start to finish, gathering the entire family in the rec room for our weekly Guitar Hero night, or going on an epic streak in Candy Crush. Some of my most memorable gaming moments come from experiences with the studios they have created. It is incredible to welcome such a legendary teams to Xbox. So, kudos to them. Kudos to Phil. That had to be like, I mean, I'll had a lot lose a bit of his life trying to like figure that out, and the stress from that I cannot even freaking imagine. So man, that team went through some stuff, so I'm happy for them that they got it over the finish line. So
yep.
I
I mean,
will go ahead.
What are we going to talk about? What games would you like to see coming soon? Like, I know there's a big
Sure.
thing. I mean, yeah, I mean our social team at Game Pass Tracker have been putting out posts about mascot changes. Like now, Activision is now part of Xbox Studios. Do we want to see a change in the mascot? Because usually, like we've had this conversation loads. Who is the official mascot of Xbox? And we always say, oh, it's Master Chief for Halo. But now they have Activision, Blizzard King, and all the subsidiaries underneath that, so Treyarch, Infinite Ward, all that kind of stuff. Um, are we going to see a complete shift in mascot?
I think we do need to see a shift. And I actually, so I saw their tweet, and
Oh,
I've been thinking about this. And this is going to sound pandery. Okay, I get that because of the podcast we run. Okay, so it is what it is. But I truly do believe this. I think Xbox needs Game Pass to be its freaking mascot, and they need to let the studios have their mascot, whatever it is. So that is literally like they need to, and they're pretty much already doing it. But Xbox needs to push Game Pass in the front. I mean, you already think of Game Pass when you think of Xbox, so that's their freaking mascot. That's who they are. And when you enter Game Pass, you see all the studios, the bevy of studios they have, who all are amazing and have their own centerpiece character, and let that character speak for that studio within that. That's personally like when I started to think about it, because I saw that post, which by the way, the Game Pass Tracker social is freaking amazing. The team is awesome. We got Brian McHenry in here. Shout out to him and a bunch of others who just do amazing work. Like if you're not part of that Twitter social, you should be. Like you should be. Follow that team. They put out some awesome stuff, and you will know exactly when the stuff drops. You'll know about it. So when I look at it though, that's what I think. I don't know. What do you think about that, Sean?
I now you've said it. I completely agree. I don't know how you can mascot the Game Pass thing. They need to
I
maybe work
know.
on a decent logo, or have Phil's face. Let's generate an avatar of Phil, like the Pip boy from Fallout. Just him just giving the thumbs up. That can be like with Phil's face. There we go. Mascot of Game Pass done. That'd be awesome. It'd be so cool. But no, they need a way. I mean, the logo. They used to have the logo. They used to have the sweeping arrow
Yeah,
with
yep.
Xbox Game Pass. So
Neon
they
arrow.
had like yeah, and I initially think of that as
Hmm.
soon as I think of Game Pass, I think of that logo. But because it titles under Xbox, I still think they should have the bragging rights to 343's Master Chief, and
Sure.
they should use him. For me, it's iconic. Anybody that I think of Xbox, and I initially think of Halo straight away. So
Yeah.
I think of the tinted visor, the green helmet, a
Hmm.
bit battered and stuff like that. I think of Bethesda, I instantly go to Doom guy because that's the way I am with Bethesda. I absolutely and ID Studios is Doom all over it. So and that's where I go to for that. So when now there's like you said, now they've got this acquisition done. I completely agree. They need to start pushing the studios independently from within inside and having their mascots in each one. And the fact that you can say like welcome to Xbox Game Pass, and boom, up there you've got Crash Bandicoot, Master Chief, you've got the little princessy king looking thing from Candy Crush. You can have all that up there. You can have them
Hmm.
walking. You can update some of those avatars, give them some different colors. Bring them in to farm under the Xbox umbrella. Um, but yeah, to me there is no one official, like you say, there is no one official avatar for Xbox. There is now an absolute livery of them, and
Hmm.
you've got some mega looking avatars in there. Like Crash Bandicoot is just awesome.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite ones to see. He's got the giant eyebrows, the Fonzie style thumbs up everywhere. So
Yeah, and that's the
yeah.
other thing. And actually, I should know the post. I'm sorry, I should have looked at that before I just say this. But somebody in there said, "Hey, just do it situationally," and that's not a bad decision either. That's not a bad way to look at it either. But I think you get
So you're saying swap and change. So depending on what big game they've got coming out, bring that person to the front and be like, "Hey, look, you're now representing Game Pass for the next 3 months."
no. What I mean more, and I mean I don't know what he meant, but how I took it was so if you're at like the Game Awards, which we know is like the hardcore gamer is going to sit there watch that for 4 hours, see the thing, then sure, bring out Master Chief because that's where you're at, right? That's what you're doing. If you're at something that the age range is a little bit lower, throwing Master Chief in front of them might not be the way to go. So maybe you do Spyro or Crash Bandicoot or I don't know, Banjo Kazooie or something like that, But also I feel like I mean I only know so much about branding, but I feel like that's not great branding because you're splitting how people recognize your brand into too many characters. And I think that is a problem that they've created. They've bought all these amazing studios. Each studio had its own like mascot. And now they're one big studio of many studios with mascots and they're kind of like, well, I don't know which one to choose. And I
Yeah.
and everybody loves Xbox for their own reason, right? Like some people love them for Master Chief. And I mean, that's what got me here. Playing late night LAN party Halos at college. Like that's my story. That's why I'm here. Like that's what made me fall in love with Xbox. But some people are all about Doom guys. Some people it's like Skyrim's the thing, which is hard because it's an RPG. You make your own character. It doesn't really have a character. And so they have such an awesome thing, but this is a problem that they have with the awesome thing that they've created. So it's an interesting story. Wow, we went a long way. We are way off of the ABK deal. This is a squirrel like up a gigantic oak tree.
Well, it's not a massive squirrel up a massive oak tree. It's we're still talking about Activision, Blizzard,
Fair
and
point.
King. So
All right, I appreciate you.
but to loop us back, the games that I'd like to see, and this will probably shock a lot of people when I turn around and say this. It probably won't. I want the back catalog of the Call of Duty games. I want the campaigns, and I don't believe all the servers are open for all the multiplayers, but I know for Black Ops 2 that they are still open. So like access to those multiplayers as well would be good fun. But yeah, I want to go back and I want to play the campaigns that I didn't play when I should have been playing them when the games were released because I was too busy trying to be an absolute wreck on the online. So
Yeah,
I'd
I'm
like those. I'd like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, even though I own them. Actually, I own them digitally. I'd like them to be on there because I'm a massive fan of the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater franchise with Activision. And Crash Bandicoot. Give me Crash Team Racing.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'd be interested in some Crash Bandicoot, some Spyro. I also, like I said, the single player Call of Duty stuff sounds cool. I'd be down to try some of that. That's kind of my thing. Where I think we should be. But am I on the right one? Let me see. Yeah, okay. So a little bit of what about Phil said about why you're not seeing this, which I think is important for us to loop back to Phil's quote here. When we finished the Bethesda acquisition, there was this great moment where we were able to put a bunch of the back catalog games on Game Pass and celebrate their history. The truth of the matter is, with Activision Blizzard King, the regulatory process took so long that we just weren't able to get in and work on that back catalog. The Activision Twitter handle put out something that talked about 2024. I think that's accurate. I would love it if there was some kind of secret celebration drop that's coming in the next couple of weeks, but there's not. So what we get out of this, man, is that for sure. I mean, Phil has confirmed for sure in the next couple of weeks there's no games coming. Like there's not going to be this drop. And I think the way he said that 100%, it's not there. But what I didn't hear, what I saw on a lot of Twitter spaces or a lot of Twitter handles was, hey, no games until 2024. That's what Activision has said. And Phil said, I think that is accurate. That leaves enough space for me to say I wouldn't count out seeing something in 2023. I mean, just the way he says, he's like, well, I think that's accurate. There's enough room for him to be like, yeah, I thought it was, but it's not. So here you go. Have something in, November or, early December or something like that.
I mean, it'd be good. It would get people excited they did if they did a Modern Warfare 3. That's the next Call of Duty that's coming out, I think. So Modern Warfare 3, if they did a free trial of that, like a day, like a couple of hours trial of that game, if they did that, like they've done with Diablo, let's have you've got a free to play for this weekend. Let's make Modern Warfare 3 free to play for this weekend, get people enticed, and then they'll go and buy the game. Let's do that. Or to celebrate the fact that Modern Warfare 3 is coming out, here's Modern Warfare Remaster and Modern Warfare 2. Go and play those games on Game Pass if you can't pick up the new version, because not everybody in this current state can afford it with the cost of living crisis and everything that's going on. Not everybody can buy into those games, so let's give you access to those games with your current subscription.
Yeah. I could totally see that. I know we're reading a lot of Phil here, but he is the head guy, and he was out and about a lot. So I just wanted to read this too. I thought this was an interesting piece of what he's going to be out doing. Phil says, I think the regulatory process took so long that it almost felt like the goal itself was to get through the regulatory process. And that's just the beginning. In fact, this evening, I'm flying to Stockholm to see the King team. It's a team I don't know that well, but I'm really excited seeing the teams. The following week, I'm going down to Southern California. I'll go to Blizzard. I'll go see Activision. And to me, when I think about where we're trying to go, it always starts with the teams. And I think his statement there is very important of like, hey, you guys view this as the end. And it is the very, very beginning of a whole new chapter. Like, we're like, it's over. But Phil's like, no, man, it is just beginning.
Oh, yeah, they've only just dragged this over the starting line. So it was in par ferme. Everything, that's a reference for Formula One if you don't. So it was in par ferme with all this. Like, it was done. They had everything ready, but they couldn't touch it. They couldn't do anything with it. They couldn't do any work on it until it was over the starting line. As soon as that thing's gone over the starting line, I was like, right, quick, get it in the pits. Let's get the wheels off. Let's get this done. Let's get this sorted. we know they've got loads of stuff that they need to do. So yeah, feels like, hey, you guys are really excited, but I'm going to be in for a really busy holiday period going forwards. I've got some work to do. He's got some air miles to put in if he's going all over the place. So
Yeah, seriously. Good on him. Hope he brought his backbone so he can get some stuff in. Or he's got a Steam Deck. Let's be honest. So he's gonna be using that. So good on you, Phil. I don't know anything else we want to touch on the ABK deal.
nope, nope. I mean, other than I'm excited for games that are going to come,
Mhm.
I'm constantly refreshing the recently added just in case there's anything shadow dropped. But if you do want to know, if you do want all your news about any games that are coming and any news about it, be sure to keep an eye on our Game Pass Tracker socials and yeah, that's probably where you're going to get the most of the news.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I said this last episode. I'm happy, and let me be honest. As an observer, as a person that just kind of reports on what we're reading, I learned a shoot ton about acquisitions, Sean. Like a lot about regulatory, about the process, about the whole thing. Like that was kind of fun, but I'm glad it's over, and I'm glad to now be ready to play some ABK games, whatever that looks like. So, one more thing. One more thing before we move on. I know. I'm sorry. We should be moving on. I know. We're already like almost at an hour. But anyways, whatever. Do you? When do you think we will see King games? And what do you think we'll see with that? This is a topic that we didn't touch on last week, and I thought, dang it! And so I meant to put this in there, and I didn't. Like King is the mobile arm of this whole gig. So what do you think they're gonna do with that? Like he mentioned that first. Hey, listen, I'm going to see King, a team I don't know very well. What do you think their plans are with that?
Um, I don't know. That is interesting because I I don't know. Maybe some content in what's it now? Candy Crush. Maybe some kind of
Yeah.
content in Candy Crush. Like a section of like levels in there that you've now got to go through that have got like backdrops from games within in Game Pass itself. But I don't know. I don't know how they work because I mean King makes some pretty good mobile games that are
Mm-hmm.
really sturdy and strong.
True.
So I don't know. That's the unknown is what are they going to do next with that?
Okay, so let me ask you this question. Do they make Candy Crush and that mobile? Do they bring that mobile thing that you pay, dips and dabs of money into? Do they bring that into the Game Pass ecosystem as some type of like mobile pass, mobile Game Pass, something like that to bring more people into their Game Pass subs? That's a shoot ton of people,
Maybe I don't
right?
know.
I mean, that's a ton of people that opens it up to that gets open to Game Pass who would a lot of them being more casual mobile players would probably never think about being Game Pass sub otherwise.
Yeah, I mean they have a huge opening into the mobile market with this,
Yeah.
and it's probably one of the reasons why he wanted to go out there and sit with them and be like, look, this is what we're gonna do, and this is like how it's gonna run, or like
Mm-hmm.
how I'd like it to run, or what can we do? What can we like? As in, yeah, you guys are awesome. We're awesome. Let's make some awesome stuff together. So that's maybe why it's
Mm-hmm.
out there.
Yeah.
So.
All right. We'll talk more about the mobile maybe next week. Sorry, I know I threw that on you. But for right now, let's head over to the dashboard. That's right. We're at the dashboard, and Sean is going to tell us all about what you're looking at here. Forza Motorsports. He's been putting some time into it. Sean, take it away.
Yeah, I mean the B-roll that Nick's got loaded up there is absolutely gorgeous. For you that are listening to the audio, the video there is going to be things like the intro video. There's going to be a couple of like racing clips that I've made, and there's also some stuff to do with the settings and things and the bits and pieces that you can do with the tuning with the car. The game is fantastic. The more I play it, the more I absolutely love it. I'll start out with there's been a big update that has been released for it. So if you played it prior to the release of the update, you know that unlocking upgrades for the car was a very long and laborious process where you were having to use a car more than you probably would use the car in terms of the series that you got to race um, in, and it was let me add up this. It was difficult to tune the car and or to upgrade the car enough to get it ready for online races, which a lot of people were saying, is a massive unfair advantage. If you had hours of time to put into it and you could, pour time and effort into it and upgrade the car, you've got massive overhead um, on the rest of the competition. Where if you're like me, you don't have as much time and you're casually hopping in and out. It was difficult to get that car up to the spec to compete against everybody. And there's brake horsepowers different, like hundreds of brake horsepowers difference between a finely tuned car and a not finely tuned car. So those that have got the time and effort and or have been able to play the game a lot longer than some have because they've had the early access means that you have a better a more unfair advantage online. So they brought that down. So rather than having to get to level 50 to unlock all the upgrades for the car, you now only have to get to level 25, which you can do within one series. I did the Built for Sport series today. I did it in a Porsche. And I took it from 0 to 25, which is the car that you can see now. I took it from 0 to 25 within one series. So, like, if I wanted to now, I could go in and really tune that car and push it over the limit, overclock it, and really, really get into it. So, yeah. The more I've played around with the tuning process of things as well, they do have an algorithm within that upgrade process where they show you've got like a geometric square that moves around depending on if you upgrade the handling over the acceleration, over the braking, over the steering. So you've got all this kind of stuff that goes. In the tutorial, it says you want to keep that as even and as square as you possibly can. I would go for that because the Porsche I had at the time when I first started was wasn't very well balanced, and it was a nightmare to drive in the game. So yeah, I'd stick to that. I'd really look into that. But the in-depth like analysis that you have within this game is fantastic. The graphics are great. I haven't had any issues graphically. I haven't had any issues with anything. I found out today that I could listen to Spotify while I was playing it. So I was driving around, racing around, listening to like all my favorite songs. I'd been to see Blink 182 live recently, so I had like their set list playing as I was driving, which was good fun. It just reminded me of doing the school run, but a lot faster. But yeah, it was good. It was good fun. I'm really enjoying this game. There's still loads to do. I think I was showing you in the Discord stream and chat that we were having that like I've done 5 series now, and I've probably got about 25 left to do. It's taken me maybe 20 hours, 25 hours to do those few series. So the amount of gameplay that there is huge, and they're adding more each time. There's all the car packs yet to come, and I reckon there's all the feature races that you can do every now and then. So it's good fun.
Yeah, you were like, "Oh, well, I got 6 left," and I was like, "Oh, you almost beat it. You only got 6 left." And you're like, "Well, no, there's like 4 or 5 hours worth of stuff in like each one of these," and I was like, "Oh, okay." So yeah, that's crazy. It looks great. I'm happy to hear that it seems to be free of any real technical issues, and it looks pretty, and it does what they want it to, and it does what you want it to. More importantly, and so kudos, man, and good on them for
It's
getting
make
it out.
it is making me want to get a steering wheel so bad. And I mean, like, I would happily clamp it to the coffee table where I'm sat now. I'd clamp the steering wheel to the coffee table and sit on the floor and play it. It is, yeah. That is my only downfall is that I'm using it via controller. So if you're looking for this B roll and you're thinking, wow, you're making so much adjustments to the steering wheels. No, it's because I'm on a controller. So the stick constantly wants to drift back to the middle because that's what it's designed to do. So you're constantly having to fight it, and after a while of racing, your thumb gets kind of tired of having to just fight that stick over all the time,
Sure.
And you get no feedback. So you're playing this game solely on watching how the car is either spinning around or not spinning around. So
You know, it starts with a steering wheel, and then it's brakes, then it's a shifter. Before you know it, you got a whole damn car right there in the living room. So and Lindsay's gonna be like,
I
"What the hell is going on here?"
Yeah, she knows though. She knows what she was getting into when we got married. She knows I'm a big motorsport fan. She is, to be fair. We're both excited for the Formula One this weekend. It's in Austin over your side of the world,
Sure.
across the pond. You guys. So we've got Austin and Las Vegas back to back for the next 2 weekends. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm working this weekend, but tomorrow is qualifying. Saturday is sprint racing, and Sunday is the main event. So it's like any free time I have around work is going to be spent watching motorsport and probably trying to play motorsport. So, yeah.
So that has taken up Sean's week, and I'm sure he will. That has been what he's played. I'm sure he will have more to talk about when he next week when we podcast. We will jump back over to the two-player podcast here, just like that. So for me, I have played a couple of games. Ishin Like a Dragon, which was a pretty good game. It's definitely a remastered game, which, to be fair, Sean, when we talked, I didn't realize that it was a remastered game. So I need to back off a little because I was like, this game looks old. Well, guess what, Nick? It is. Duh. That's what you get. Somebody just fly over here and whack me up across the head, Sean. For a remastered game, it's pretty darn fun. And what I love actually is it's got the old beat 'em up style Yakuza, where you can. You got all the different things you can do, from parrying to grabbing and tossing and punching, and you're just beating people up. And so that part is a lot of fun. There's a lot of text to get through, which, if you're used to these games, you know that they exist. There are some old gaming mechanics, as I was telling Sean, that kind of get frustrating, where it's like you see this wide open space and you start running towards it, and all of a sudden, like, there's just this invisible barrier, and you're like, oh, I guess I can't go there, even though there's nothing there. It's just not what you're used to in modern gaming, but that's okay. The heart and soul of Like a Dragon is in this, and if you love those games, then you should certainly give this one a go. The next one I played, From Space. I teased this up in the beginning. This is your Redfall for kids. It's it's a co-op game, top-down shooter. You get recruited to fight aliens. It's a lot of fun, and there's no blood, there's no nothing like that. To be honest, the aliens kind of look like the ghosts from Luigi's Mansion. So it is a blast. And so I had about 2 hours of time into it. Had a great time playing. Funny stories. You meet this guy, and it's the same kind of thing too, Sean. Like, you know how you had the vampire nests that you had to take care of? You meet this guy, and he's like, yeah, there's some alien eggs over there, and they're in front of my distillery, and I can't get my alcohol, so I can't help you unless I had some, like, courage juice. So if you go do that, then, maybe I'll help you. And so then you gotta, like, walk over there and shoot these aliens and these, like, alien egg nests, and they all pop out, and then you get him his alcohol, and he's like, all right, I'll help you. Thanks for that. And so, yeah, it's just funny writing, fun time. Good. It's a fun Game Pass game for sure. A couple more things I'll mention real quick. Everybody knows I love the Nintendo, and so Super Mario Wonder's coming out. Shout out to that. So I had to clear the docket. Pikmin 4.
It's officially out, is it not?
Not from. I think it's midnight for me, so I don't think so. I don't know.
Okay.
It could be out. I don't know. I could be wrong. I can't play it until this afternoon, anyways, when Noah's home. I promised. So. There you go.
I see. You're such a good dad.
Yeah, I can't do it. Yeah, no, he's super pumped. So Disney Illusion Island, beat that. Game is so much fun if you got kids. Play it. Good co-op-y platformer. It's a Metroidvania for kids. It's super fun. Pikmin 4, God bless that game. It's done. So it's done. That's all I'm going to say. Talked enough about it. It's done. I did all the things, except for that damn gold bar, and I'm not going to find 1,000 of those little freaking purple things and make that happen, so it can die there, along with those 2 leaflings that I left. So that is what I've been playing. But for Game Pass, From Space, really fun game. Ishin Like a Dragon, good game. If you like the Like a Dragon series, do it. If not, still give it a shout, but you just know it might not be your cup of tea. So that's my stuff. Anything else before we shoot into party chat?
I don't know. What are you looking to play? We always talk about what we've played. Other than Mario Wonder, of course. What are you looking to play with the stuff that's coming out next.
You silly goose. In a week, I'm going to be playing Miniko's Night Market, my friend. That's the only thing that's going to drag me away from Super Mario Wonder. Miniko's Night Market is the thing next week that I will certainly be playing. That's it. That's the only Game Pass game I'll be playing next week. I guarantee it. I might try to play Cocoon. I haven't beat that yet. I only have like 2 hours left if I do the math. So I'll probably play some Cocoon. I'll play some From Space. I'll play a shoot ton of Super Mario Wonder, and then I'll play Miniko's Night Market.
Yeah, I'm going to be playing. I'm going to give F1 Manager 23 a go. I'd be interested to see if that's via touch controls on the cloud. If I can get that on the iPad and take it to work with me, and it's like as Dusk Falls was. So there was like rather than having to pair the controller, I can do it with the touch controls on the screen. If I can do that, I will be so deep into that game. It'll be unreal. I'll literally be sending my CV off saying, hey, look, I have become a team principal in so many ways on Manager 23 that, I need a job. I can be the next Toto Wolff. So, yeah, I'm going to be doing that. And probably play some Dead Space before I go away, if I can. So,
yeah. Good stuff. On to the party chat.
It's party time!
All right, this is the time where we chat with you. You can give us questions, and then Sean and I just catch up. That's what we do. We just have a little moment. We catch up. We're dad gamers. We see what the fam's up to. We see what we're doing. All that fun stuff. So how's life, Sean?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been very busy. Lots of cool stuff happening. Had a really busy weekend. Took Lindsay to cuddle some cows, which is exactly as it sounds.
This is the. I mean, Lindsay loves it, so that's great. But it's like the great. I just don't. So yeah, and what happened while you cuddled cows, Sean? Do you want to tell us or no?
So one of okay, well, let's go with the interesting fact about cows. Cows really like grass. They do love grass, but wet grass isn't very good. And I didn't know this. This was something I learned while I was there. So every day is a school day. They don't like, or at least their stomachs don't like wet grass. They can't handle it. So normally when if you ever come across a cow and you see a cow patch, usually quite junky looking. A cow that's eating a lot of wet grass will basically pour out of his butt. Like
everybody
water.
Just like, okay, well, we're good, thanks.
So I was given this. I was brushing this cow. I had like this brush that I could put on my hand, and I was brushing it, and I was like giving it a cuddle. It rested its head on me. It was mooing every now and then. It was really cool. It's like I'm shit scared of animals that are bigger than me. One of my big fears: horses and animals that are bigger than me. And it stood up, and as it walked off, it kind of it crapped everywhere. And I was like, oh, nice. And the people that run the show at Dumble Farm, big shout out to those. If you're listening in the UK and you're close to the Beverley area, go check out them out if you want to cuddle cows or feed goats and stuff like that. It's an awesome place to go to. And they were like, oh no, that's normal. Don't worry, the stomachs aren't 100% happy. I was like, oh, okay, fair enough. And it was wagging its tail as it was going along. I was like, oh, okay. And they're like, well, this cow's really calm. Go cuddle this cow.
Go cuddle the cow that didn't just shit himself.
Yeah. So I'm there and I'm like, oh, the back of my neck's really wet. I wonder, looked up to see if anything was dripping from the ceiling. I was like, I can't see anything. So I put my hand down the back of my neck to kind of move my jumper a little bit. And as I took my hand back out, I was like, oh, great. I got cow shit down my back. So yeah, I got pooped on by a cow. Not directly pooped on, which I'm glad, but yeah, it was good time. It was good. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would because of the worry of huge animals, and it was lovely to see Lindsay so excited and happy. She had an absolute blast. Highland cows, by the way, which are the ones that she loves the most, are so mischievous. It's unreal. They've got some really great personalities, which is surprising. It doesn't surprise me. Animals have personality too. Our cat's an absolute knob, but they all had their own personality. There was one called Chip, which was really mischievous. He kept trying to stick me with its horns and stuff like that, and things like that. And then there was one called Meg, which didn't like being washed, and it kind of threw a paddy and just chucked itself on the floor and things like that. It was just interesting to see. So, And then on the Sunday, I went to see Blink, one of my favorite.
That's awesome.
My favorite crappy punk rock band.
That picture you sent of that
And
of that place, of that arena, was just like crazy, super packed, super huge,
Yeah.
crazy.
So, and yeah, I really enjoyed that. It's live. Their new album's out today as well. So I'm like sat here, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I might not go to bed. I might just put my headphones in and listen to that album while I wait for the audio to come to me. So, but yeah, that's it. It's like busy weekend. And then like we've had stuff with the kids this week, people all to different places. So yeah, just crazy busy. How about you? How's it been going for you? You had much more gigs with show Skybound?
No, not there. I will say before we move on to what's life like for me right now, I am shocked that you have a, I mean, and it's fine. We all have our own thing going, but you have a fear of large animals, yet you work at a place that can like fry you to death in like a quarter of a second. Like you like I mean, it's all cool. We all got our own thing, but I'm just saying. I was just like,
Yeah.
You're like 5
thing is that
bazillion kilowatts. Yeah, I just like changed the plug on that, and I'm still alive. And I'm like, oh god.
You see, the difference is that I deal with that week in, week out, and I've dealt with that week in, week out. I've been in that industry for 20 years, so I know how the guy from Bethesda that's just retired feels because I've been in that business for 20 years. So it doesn't scare me. You're like, I know what is happening. I get like you get like a spidey sense for like when things aren't right. You can feel it, you can smell it, you can see it, kind of thing, and hear it. So that doesn't worry me. Large animals are unpredictable.
That's fair. That is
like the alpaca. They brought some alpacas to us, and they were like, "Oh, these are really nice, but they don't like you to touch them. Don't touch them. And if you get anywhere near the back of them, they will just kick you." And I was like, fair enough. They can stay away from me. So because yeah, it's the unpredictableness that I don't like. So
there was where was it? It was at a Memorial Day parade. Memorial Day? Yeah, Memorial Day parade. And they had a group of there's a group of like horsemen out there. I can't remember from what they were from or what they were doing. I think they were carrying like flags and stuff like that for our services. And some guy walks across the road, which one you're not supposed to do. Like they've blocked off the area. You're not supposed to be on the road. And he pats the horse as he's walking by. He like pats the horse on the butt. And this dude gets the shit kicked out of him. Like I don't know. He got up. He seemed like he was okay. I don't know if he was just like the adrenaline and he didn't want to look like it. But I mean, this horse just like one-footed him right in the ribs. And he's just like, he flies a good like 5 feet. He's just like, he gets up and he's like, just brushes himself off and walks off. And I'm like, that dude, you got to have like a broken rib or something from that. Like, I don't understand. It's the best.
He ain't laughing for next week.
Yeah, it's pretty hilarious. I just realized, by the way, we have to change, and I know you're looking at the Zoom thing. I have to change our names. You are currently Nick Metzger, and I am Sean Abbott. So, sorry about that. We'll get our name tags figured out.
Yeah, Nick's the one with the hair. I'm the bald one.
Yeah, my bad. Apparently didn't lock that in right. So we'll get that fixed. So for me, everything's going pretty good. The kiddos are. What are we doing? Oh, we're doing some trunk or treat. We had our first trunk or treat where I was Charlie Brown and Ariel was Snoopy, and she's got a little dog house, and she loves to sit in there like a dog, like Snoopy. And we got a Tweety Bird and Lucy and who is Noah? Why can I not remember who Noah is? Linus? Is it Linus? I think does Linus have the blanket?
You said. Yeah, you said it was Linus last week.
Okay, good. So yeah, we had our first one of those. We have another one next week. So we're deep into the Halloween holiday season. Saturday is pumpkin carving. So very excited for pumpkin carving. We're all going to go out and get a pumpkin. We love carving pumpkins. One of them, Sean, have you ever had pumpkins too?
Yeah, I have a story about carving pumpkins, but yeah.
Okay, well, one of the pumpkins is for pumpkin stew. So we fill it full of stew, throw it in the oven, pumpkin and all, and you cook it, and then the pumpkin gets super soft because most people don't realize that it's like a great savory squash if you want to have it that way, but most people don't.
Well, it is part of the gourd family.
Yeah, exactly. And so pumpkin stew is like one of our holiday traditions in the Halloween holiday, and so that's Saturday. So super excited for that. and Super Mario Wonder. Best life.
Yeah. My pumpkin carving story is that we had a really tall one. It's obviously come in all different shapes and sizes. We went to the local farm, did their own pick your own pumpkins, and we found this really tall one. And Logan was like, "Oh, Dad, will you carve me an Among Us character in the front of this pumpkin?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll give that a go." So I carved this Among Us character out, and to be honest, it's the first time I've ever done that where you scrape the flesh back.
Sure.
And this thing looked awesome. I was like really proud. I was like, yes, look at this. I did it. I finally managed to get to like whether the candle was on inside, like it really glowed. It was really cool. Like the visor was all the way through. So the visor glowed more than skin. And then it was like, I don't want to put that outside. I was like, you can't keep it inside. It's got to go outside because it's going to want to stay cool outside. It's like, yeah, but I don't want to put it outside, Dad. So I had this back and forth with him and it's like, okay, fine, we'll keep it inside. And it was doing well. And then one morning I went downstairs and like I stood like as you come off the bottom step into like our hallway downstairs, it's like a hardwood floor. And I stepped and I was like, why is there a puddle? And this pumpkin had literally just turned into water. It was just everywhere.
Gosh.
It seeped under it seeped into everything. I'm like, I'm really lucky I've got away with the skirting board, but like the stripping that goes underneath the skirting board, that's MDF, so that swelled up. So I had to fix that. It didn't ruin the hardwood, which I'm really glad for. It hadn't got into the hardwood because really well sealed. Otherwise, I'd have been really pissed off about that. So yeah, so if you carve your pumpkins, don't keep them inside.
That's right.
Keep them outside.
Yep.
You take it from this Englishman that saved his hallway.
That's our public service announcement for this episode. If you carve a pumpkin, put it outside. All right.
Yep.
Well, Nick Metzger, you want to take us away? Take us out of this thing?
I certainly will. Sean. I bet. So it's been awesome. This episode's been great. We've had people in the chat back and forth early on. I'm assuming that a lot of those people, it's getting late over there as well, so they've got family stuff to attend to. But thank you very much, everybody, for showing up. Remember, if you want to send us an email or any kind of feedback or ask any questions, you can shoot us an email at show@gamepasstracker.com. Head over to everything's at Game Pass Tracker for all the social media stuff. X is probably your best place for all the most up-to-date news, but we're on Facebook, we're on TikTok, YouTube, everything, everywhere. It's fantastic. And don't forget, if you are going to be signing up for Game Pass anytime soon, or you have, like, with the holidays coming up, you're purchasing a console for somebody, remind them about our link. It's in our description. Send them that. It helps support us, and at the same time as subscribing to an awesome service. And thanks very much, Nick, for yourself, and thanks very much for the social team for pushing us, and for our moderators in the chat everywhere. Thank you very much. And until next time, guys, we shall see you later.
See you later, guys.